Right. So we were discussing about Docker, and we were in the previous session. Let me show you. So we have understood few commands of Docker in the previous class, right? So you all know the purpose of this command: Docker run --name my Jenkins -p this port number. How to assign port number? What is the purpose of -name? We are giving to provide name to the container. Okay, for providing name to the container, we will give -name option. What about -small p? -small p is for manual port mapping. So 9090 is the port number we are assigning to the default port number called 8080. Right. So anyhow, we understood the purpose of this command. And what is the meaning of -d? Why we are using -d? -d stands for what? Detached mode. So if I use -d, it is nothing but detached mode. So we are asking to leave our console. Okay, we are asking to leave the console. Console in the sense command prompt. To leave the console. I'm getting some resound. Is it fine for you?
No, even we are getting resound.
Yeah, that's what. Is it okay now? Yeah. Okay. So similarly, we will see some other commands. So we have understood till here. And to execute any command, if I want to execute any command inside the Jenkins container, suppose how to move to the Jenkins container? Jenkins అనే ఇమేజ్ నుంచి మనం ఒక కంటైనర్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం. కంటైనర్ నేమ్ ఏమి ఇచ్చాం? మై జెంకిన్స్ అని ఇచ్చాం. మై జెంకిన్స్ ఇస్ ద నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద కంటైనర్. Now I want to go inside the container of my Jenkins. So this is the command we use: docker execute -it. Docker execute in the sense, what is the purpose of docker exec? To execute any command inside the Jenkins container. If you want to execute any command inside Jenkins container, we will give this command, docker execute. -it stands for what? Interactive terminal. Either you can provide container name or container ID. What is container name here? My Jenkins is the container name. You may also provide container ID also. You can provide container ID also. And bash mode. We are going to execute everything in the bash mode. So we have seen this, how to enter, how to go inside the container and all. Let's see this one, whether we are connected to this one or not. Yeah. Let's see by connecting to it. We have a Docker instance running. I'm just using connect button to connect here. And first of all, you should remember the basic commands like how to see the list of Docker images. If you want to know, yeah, if you want to know the list of Docker images, yes, Docker images, please give the command called docker image ls, so that it will display if any images are there. Yes, we have two images. One is Jenkins/Jenkins, other one is Tomcat image. Okay, Tommy image is there. So containers, what about containers? If there are any containers running or not, to know if there are any containers running or not. To know all the containers, to know about all the containers, that is both running containers as well as stopped containers, we will simply use a command called docker ps -a. I told you docker ps stands for Docker processes. What are all the Docker processes running here? To know that, we have a command called docker ps -a. Yes, how many containers are running here? Whether the status, yeah, both the containers are running. You see, how can you say both the containers are up and running? How can you say that both the containers are up and running? You see the status here, it was up. Status up 2 days back. Status up 2 days back. Both the containers are running. What is the difference between Docker container ls as well as Docker ps -a? Docker container ls will also gives you the running containers. Docker ps-a will give you all the containers, both running as well as stopped. But Docker container ls will gives you only running containers. That you have to remember. Fine, 2 containers are there and both the containers are up and running. Now we say we are going to create one more container. We are going to create one more container. Try to understand the meaning of this particular command. Docker run, you know the meaning of Docker run command. And hyphen name my Ubuntu. What is the meaning of this hyphen name my Ubuntu? We are providing the name to this container. Finally, what is the image name? Which image we are going to run? Docker run means what? For what purpose we are going to use this one? We are going to run an image. Which image we are going to run? We are going to run an image called, this is the image name. Last one is image name. This is called image name. Ubuntu is the image name. And if I run this image, it will become a container. What is the name of the container we are providing? My Ubuntu is the name of the container we are providing. What is the purpose of -it? -it stands for what? Interactive terminal. You see, when I execute this command, what happens? We will automatically enter into Ubuntu container. Why? Because I have provided -it. -it stands for interactive terminal. Interactive terminal. Let me run this command. Is here I am running the command. Docker run -name my Ubuntu -it Ubuntu. So Ubuntu image is there. Have we downloaded any Ubuntu image here? No, we have not yet downloaded Ubuntu image. Suppose if Ubuntu image is not there locally, what happens? Ubuntu image local ga lekapothe manaki em jarugutadi? First it will search whether the Ubuntu image is available locally or not. If it is not available locally, what will happen? So it will download from the remote. It will download from a repository called. From where it will download?
Docker Hub.
Yes, from it will download from Docker Hub. What is Docker Hub? Docker Hub is a public registry where all our Docker images will be stored, where all the Docker images can be stored. It's a public repository. I'm executing this command, you see. Docker run -name. What happened? You see, whenever I execute this command, it is showing that unable to find the image locally. That is why it is pulling the image from Docker Hub. Once after pulling the image, it will run that image. Okay, once the image is downloaded, it will run that image and that image will become container. Now it is done. Container is, it has created a container. It has created a container. Now container is running. Where we are at now, can you see? We are not in the IP address. Root IP address 172.31. That is the IP address of our Ubuntu machine. But presently where we are at, we are now at root 98.27. What is this 98.27? Can anyone tell me? 98.27.4D. What is that one? We have logged in inside container, Ubuntu container. Just now we have downloaded Ubuntu image and we have created Ubuntu container, right? And in the command itself, we have provided an option called -it. -it stands for what? Interactive terminal. So we are asking to provide an interactive terminal. We want to go inside the interactive terminal of Ubuntu image, my Ubuntu container. That is why we have directly logged in inside the container. Now you can see the list of files and directories also. మనం ఇప్పుడు Ubuntu container లోపలికి వెళ్ళాం. ఓకేనా? వెళ్ళడానికి మనం ఏం కమాండ్ ఇచ్చామో చూడండి. ఇక్కడ -it ఇస్తే మీరు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు? డైరెక్ట్ గా Ubuntu container లోకి వెళ్ళారు. You can see the list of files and directories there. What is the command? Linux command we use. You can simply use ls command to see the list of files. You can simply use a command called ls to see the list of files and directories that are available. See, we have all the files that are available here.
One doubt here, like in Docker run -name my Ubuntu. After that, we need to give some port number, right? Or
definitely. Presently, we are not providing. If we do not provide port number, what happens? We cannot access that, right? So when we will provide port number, suppose suppose if we want to provide some, each and every container will have some default port number. Okay. So Ubuntu is an operating system, right? Ubuntu is an operating system. For each and everything, we will assign port number. We are just learning the commands with different options. It is not, so you have to provide port number. That is mandatory whenever you are going to act. Okay.
Can we provide in this command as well?
Yeah, definitely. One by one, we will see. Okay. We'll come one by one. You will understand slowly how we are using the things and all. In the previous commands itself, I have told you, right, how to assign port numbers and all.
Yes, sir. But what is the difference? Like in this command, we're downloading the image and running the container, right? Previous command also same.
Yeah, difference is in this particular command, I would like to tell you what is the meaning of this -it. Okay. -it stands for interactive terminal. Even if you want to, suppose if you have an image, okay, if you have an image and you made that image and you have run that image and that image will become content, that image is now as a container, running as a container. Okay. And now if you want to go inside the container, you can provide -it option. That is what my intention is here. Okay. If you provide -it, it is nothing but interactive terminal. You can go inside the container and you can see the list of files and directories that are available inside the my Ubuntu operating system. You got my point? Okay. See here. So what is the purpose of this one -it? We will automatically enter into Ubuntu operating system, and we will see the list of files in Ubuntu. To see the list of files in Ubuntu, yes, we will provide a command called ls command, and to come out of the container back to the host. Presently, where we are at now. We are inside the Ubuntu container. We are inside the Ubuntu container. How to come back from the Ubuntu container to the to the operating system level? We will simply use a command called exit. Presently, we are inside the container, and to come out of the container, or otherwise to go back to the operating system level, we will simply use a command called exit. Okay, by using exit command, we will come back. Okay. So now, similarly, we will see different options, so that we will understand something. You see, so here you try to understand the meaning of this particular scenario. What is the meaning of this scenario? What is the command? You see, try to understand the command first, then we will read the scenario. What we are doing in the command, you all know few things you know well, and few things you don't know. So that's why I would like to make you very clear. So docker run command, you know very well. You know very well about docker run command. And what is the image name here we are using? Which image we are going to run? Tommy. Suppose consider we are going to run an image called Tommy. And now, see, what is this one? What is the name of the container I am providing? Web server. Name of the container I am providing as web server. What is -p? -p stands for manual port mapping. What is the port number we are assigning? 7070. What is the default port number? 8080 is the default port number. So if you see here, this is like our previous command only. We have already discussed it. But why we are discussing this as a scenario? If you want to start Tomcat as a container and to name it as a web server, actually Tomcat is a server. I told you, right? Tomcat is a web server. So whenever you see whenever you want to start Tomcat as a container, Tomcat మనం ఒక కంటైనర్ గా రన్ చేసి ఆ Tomcat కంటైనర్ పేరు వెబ్ సర్వర్ ఇవ్వాలి అనుకుంటే ఈ విధంగా ఇవ్వచ్చు అనమాట. You can perform port mapping and run the container in the detached mode. -d stands for what? Detached mode. I already told you what is the meaning of -d, -p port number, -p in the sense it is a manual port number, manual port mapping, and -, name is for providing container name. Okay, this you all know. But what is the thing here? Suppose if you want to provide the container name as web server, ఒకవేళ కంటైనర్ నేమ్ మీరు ఎలా ఇస్తాం, మనం రియల్ టైమ్ లో ఎలా ఉంటాయంటే కంటైనర్ నేమ్స్ వెబ్ సర్వర్ అని, తర్వాత డేటాబేస్ సర్వర్ అని, ఇట్లా మనం ఒక కన్వెన్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. కాబట్టి సో మీరు ఏదైనా కంటైనర్ కి వెబ్ సర్వర్ అని వెబ్ సర్వర్ కానీ ఇంకేదైనా పేరు ఇవ్వాలనుకుంటే దాని కంటైనర్ నేమ్ దగ్గర మనం ఈ విధంగా ఇస్తాం. ఇది ఆల్రెడీ మనం చూసాం. బట్ జస్ట్ ఐఎమ్ టెల్లింగ్ యూ హౌ కెన్ వీ గివ్ ద container names in real time. So we will provide the container names like web server, DB server, application server, like that we will give according to our convenience. It is not mandatory that we have to provide like this. You can provide any name to the container. Okay. So how to access the home page of the Tomcat container? You can launch any browser, and you have to check. You have to take the public IP of the Docker host. Then why we are using 7070 to access the Tomcat container? Why we can use 7070 to access the Tomcat container? Can you tell me?
We are assigning the with the.
Yes, we are assigning the port number called 7070. Okay. So then next you see the scenario. You see another scenario. Suppose if you want to Jenkins as a container, if you want to start Jenkins as a container in the detached mode, and you want to keep the name as dev server, and if you want to perform the port mapping, then we will go for the following command. You see, following command is also same, docker run. And you see, you have to observe one thing. Here we have used -d in the last. And here in the second scenario, you have used -d in the beginning itself. Okay, it is not mandatory that you have to use the -d option in the last itself. You have to follow the proper syntax. Whenever you have given hyphen name, immediately you have to provide. Okay, hyphen name use చేయగానే immediate గానే మనం ఏం యూస్ చేయాలి? ఆ నేమ్ కంటైనర్ నేమ్ ఇవ్వాలి. -p యూస్ చేశారంటే ఇమీడియట్ గా పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ అసైన్ చేయాలి. అంతేగాని -d ఈ లాస్ట్ లోనే రాయాలని ఏం లేదన్నమాట. యూ కెన్ రైట్ -d ఇన్ ద బిగినింగ్ ఆల్సో. Okay, if you want to start Jenkins as a container, you can write this docker run Jenkins image name is only Jenkins I am using, and name of the container is dev server. Name of the port number I am assigning is this one. -d stands for detached mode to run the log messages in the background. To run the ఎప్పుడైతే detached mode -d ఇస్తామో లాగ్ మెసేజెస్ అన్ని మన కంటైనర్ లో మన కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ లో రన్ అవ్వకుండా బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో రన్ అవుతాయి. మన కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ ఫ్రీ అయిపోద్ది. మనం ఏదైనా కమాండ్స్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసుకోవాలంటే చేసుకోవచ్చు. దానికోసం -d అనే ఆప్షన్ ఇస్తున్నాం. సో వీ నో హౌ టు యాక్సెస్ ద హోమ్ పేజ్ ఆఫ్ జెంకిన్స్. సిమిలర్ థింగ్, పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ ఆఫ్ ద డాకర్ హోస్ట్ యొక్క పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ తీసుకుంటాం. అండ్ పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ విచ్ వీ హ్యావ్ అసైన్డ్, ఏ పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ అయితే మనం అసైన్ చేసామో ఆ పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ తీసుకొని యాక్సెస్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, and we will see the different image. Okay, we have already seen the Tomcat image, Jenkins image, how to access and how to start Jenkins as Nginx. See Nginx. Okay, we are now going to talking about a different image called Nginx. What is this Nginx? So Nginx is an app server. Okay, Nginx is an application server. So we have already discussed it, right? We will go for some application. We have some server, Tomcat. Tomcat is a web server. Actually, we will install Java applications. We will deploy Java applications in the Tomcat. Similarly, if we have any if we are going to have any applications, we can also install. We can also have it in the Nginx. Nginx లో కూడా మనం Nginx అనే దాంట్లో కూడా మనం అప్లికేషన్స్ ని చేయొచ్చు అన్నమాట, డిప్లాయ్ చేయొచ్చు అన్నమాట. So how we are going to see how we can use this Nginx image, we will see. Start Nginx as a container. To start Nginx as a container and to name the Nginx as app server. Okay, and to run this in the detached mode. If you want to perform port mapping, it is nothing but, see, we are just explaining. Suppose if you want to name the container name as app server, మీరు కంటైనర్ నేమ్ యాప్ సర్వర్ ఇవ్వాలనుకుంటే, డిటాచ్డ్ మోడ్ లో రన్ చేయాలనుకుంటే, ఆటోమేటిక్ పోర్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్ అసైన్ చేయాలనుకుంటే, ఓకే, ఇక్కడ మనం ఏం తెలుసుకుంటున్నాం ఈ సినారియాలో? అసలు ఆటోమేటిక్ పోర్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్ అంటే ఏంటో తెలుసుకుంటాం. మనం మాన్యువల్ పోర్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్ ఏమి ఇచ్చాం చూడండి. మాన్యువల్ పోర్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్ ఏం సింబల్ యూస్ చేసాం? వాట్ ఇస్ ద సింబల్ వీ హావ్ యూస్డ్ ఫర్ మాన్యువల్ పోర్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్? స్మాల్ p. స్మాల్ p యూస్ చేసాం. ఇక్కడ చూస్తే మీరు ఈ కమాండ్ లో -P, స్మాల్ p అనేది మాన్యువల్ పోర్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్. -P అనేది ఏంటంటే ఆటోమేటిక్ పోర్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్. పోర్ట్ మ్యాపింగ్ మనం అసైన్ చేయాలి, పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ మనం అసైన్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఓకేనా? సమ్ పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ విల్ అసైన్. It is not necessary to assign a port number. Okay, so when you provide okay, so capital P, -P is for automatic port mapping. You see, try to understand the meaning of this entire command. Docker run, we know the purpose of docker run command. What is this last one? Nginx is the image name. Nginx is the image name. hyphen name app server. It is the name of the container. Okay, hyphen name is for providing the name of the container. And hyphen capital P is for automatic port mapping. Hyphen small d is for detached mode. All these things we know except hyphen capital P. We will understand what is hyphen capital P. As of now, I told you that hyphen capital P is for automatic port mapping. What happens? Suppose if the image, Nginx image is not available locally, okay? If the image is not available locally, it will perform pull operation. It will download the image. It will download the image. And then capital P stands for what? It will perform automatic port mapping. It will perform automatic port mapping. Let's see. Then once after running this command, how can we check whether the Nginx is running or not? We don't know the port number, right? If we don't know the port number for any container, if we don't know the port number, how can we know? So to know the port number, we can use a command. So this is the command you see, docker port, the container name. Can you able to understand here? Docker port, name of the container. Name of the container is app server, right? We have provided the name of the container as app server. So if you use a command docker port app server, it will give you the port number. Okay, I'll show you. Let me use this command. Let me run this command there. You see, actually, we have not downloaded the Nginx image, and Nginx image is going to download now. It is going to pull the image from Docker Hub. And once the Nginx image is downloaded, immediately container will be started. It will run the image as container. So container is also started. Okay. So how to check the port number? That is our thing. That is what we are going to learn. So how to check whether the Nginx is running or not? We don't know the port number, right? We need to access the port number. So how to know the port number? Docker port, that container name. We can use a command called docker port container name. If I use docker port container name, then it will show, like you see, this is how it will show the port numbers. Okay, the default port number of this one is, the default port number of this app server is 80. And what is the port number that it has assigned? మనమేం అసైన్ చేయలేదు పోర్ట్ నెంబర్. అదే డిఫాల్ట్ గా ఒక పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ అసైన్ చేసింది. అదేం పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ అసైన్ చేసిందంటే ఇది 32768. This is the port number that it has assigned. You understood, right? We have not assigned any port number. మనం క్యాపిటల్ పి ఇచ్చాం, హైఫన్ క్యాపిటల్ పి ఇస్తే ఆటోమేటిక్ గా దిస్ పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ అసైన్ చేస్తుంది. ఆ పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ మనం తెలుసుకోవాలనుకుంటే డాకర్ పోర్ట్ అనే కమాండ్ ఇస్తాం. డాకర్ పోర్ట్ ఆ పర్టికులర్ నేమ్ ఇస్తే ఆ కమాండ్ ద్వారా మనం పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ తెలుసుకోవచ్చు. సో 80 is the default port number and the port number assigned is 32768. Okay. Okay. So that is why. So 80 is the Nginx port and the port number 49153. This is not the port. Present it has assigned some number. What is the port number that it has assigned now? 32768. Now the port number assigned is 32768. Then you can see what are all the, if you want to access Nginx on the browser, how can we access? We will go to the, see, there are some restrictions in my laptop. You can able to access. Okay, if I am not able to access, you can able to. So what can we do? We can collect the public IP of the system. I'm just trying to access it. So collect the public IP, go inside. Where is the public IP? So this is the public IP. Over there, use the public IP and port number. What is the port number that it has assigned? Use the port number 32768. Okay, 32768. This is the port number that we said. Anyhow, we are able to access this Nginx. Anyway, this is how the page looks like. Okay, this is how the page looks like of Nginx app server. We are able to access it. Okay, Nginx is running. Okay, if you see this server, if you see here, what is the content they are displaying? If you see this page, Nginx web server is successfully installed and working. Okay, and further configuration is required. Anyhow, we have successfully created an Nginx container and is running successfully. Okay, so you understood now what is the difference between hyphen small p and hyphen capital P also. Okay. Similarly, you see, previously we have seen Ubuntu as an operating system, right? Ubuntu is an operating system. So similarly, like you see, CentOS is also an operating system. CentOS is also one OS. So this is similar to the Ubuntu command we have seen earlier. Docker run -- name of the container I'm providing as what? My CentOS. -it stands for what? Interactive terminal. -it stands for interactive terminal. So this is how we can use a command to directly go inside the container. And if you want to see the configuration, what is the purpose of this command? I want to know the files inside. I want to see the files running inside the container called myCentOS. అసలు myCentOS లో ఏమేమి ఫైల్స్ ఉన్నాయో, ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ లో ఏమేమి ఫైల్స్ ఉన్నాయో చూడాలి. నేను ఎలా చేస్తున్నా, CentOS అనే ఇమేజ్ యూస్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. సో myCentOS అనే కంటైనర్ నేమ్ ఇచ్చాం. సో దీంట్లో ఏమేమి ఫైల్స్ ఉన్నాయో చూడాలనుకుంటే -it అనేది ఇచ్చి దాని లోపలికి వెళ్తాం. ఆ కంటైనర్ లోపల ఏమేమి ఫైల్స్ ఉన్నాయో చూడాలనుకుంటే ls కమాండ్. We can provide ls command and we can see the list of files. Okay, so this is how we are going to see. So please practice all these commands, and I'm going to open one more document. Yeah, you see some other commands also to start MySQL as a container. What is MySQL? You all know what is MySQL. MySQL stands for that. It is a database, right? MySQL is a database. And if you want to use a MySQL as a container, okay, look at this one. This particular command. Try to understand what is there in that command. Docker run. We know that MySQL is what? What is MySQL?
Image name.
Very good. What is the --- name MyDB? Here we have provided
Container name.
Name of the container we have provided as MyDB. And -d, you all know that what is -d?
Detached mode.
Detached mode. That is fine. And one more extra thing we are using here. This is called environment variable. -e stands for environment variable. We are using -e option and we are assigning some environment variable. So this is the MySQL _root _password is the environment variable. సో ఇది ఎలా తెలుస్తాయి అంటే మనకి మీరు ఇమేజ్ లోకి వెళ్ళాలి. సపోజ్ ఇప్పుడు మీరు డాకర్ హబ్ లోకి వెళ్ళారనుకోండి. ఓకే, డాకర్ హబ్. Go to Docker Hub and go to a page called MySQL. I'm sorry. So you go to Docker Hub. You go to hub.docker.com. Okay. Please go to hub.docker.com. Here you can search for the image. What is the image we are searching for? We are searching for an image called MySQL, right? So please go to the image called MySQL here. You search for the MySQL image, MySQL. And when you go to MySQL, there are many images here. Okay, might be there are many images. Anyhow, now we are able to see one image. Please go to that image. Just go to the documentation of that image. Okay, you just come down. You can see the documentation of that image. If this is if that image is an official image, and it will provide clear documentation. The image, that particular one will provide. You see the clear documentation will be there. Please go through the documentation. and we can able to learn what is the environment variable that is provided here. చూడండి ఇక్కడ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్స్ అని ఉందా ఆప్షన్ 1. ఏ చెప్తాడు అసలు ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ అంటే ఏంది అది చూద్దాం మనం. ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ mysql_root_password అనేది ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ అని చెప్తున్నాడు. ఎందుకు ఈ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ అంటే this is mandatory and specify the password that will be set for MySQL. సపోజ్ మీరు MySQL అనే ఇమేజ్ యూజ్ చేసి కంటైనర్ క్రియేట్ చేశారు అనుకోండి, అది లాగిన్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే పాస్వర్డ్ అడుగుతుంది. ఆ పాస్వర్డ్ ముందుగానే మనం సెట్ చేసుకోవాలి అని చెప్తున్నాడు. సో mysql_root_password is an environment variable. So we have to use this mandatory and we have to specify the password for the root account. Okay. సో ఈ విధంగా మనం ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఇంకోటి కూడా ఉంది, mysql_database, mysql_username, mysql_password. So this is for root password. mysql_root_password is for the root user. Okay, after that, if any users are created, then we have to use these variables. So now you understood the purpose of environment variable, right? Why we are using environment variable? So for some images, while we log in, it will ask for the root password. That is why we are setting that root password in the command itself. We are passing that in the command. We are doing that in the command itself. -e stands for environment variable, and we are using an environment variable called mysql_root_password. ekkadi nunchi ostundante you have to go to the documentation. If you go to the documentation of that image, they'll clearly provide what is the environment variable they are using for the root password. Okay, mysql_root_password equal to something I'm providing. I'm giving some password and the image name is MySQL. So I'm going to run this. You see, I'm going to run this one. So image is not available locally. We are going to download the image. Image is not there locally. We are going to download the image. So it will download the image from the Docker Hub and it will run the image as container. Yes, you see, it is downloaded and it is okay. MySQL image is downloaded and it is running that image as container. What is the name of the container we have provided? MyDB is the name of the container. -d for detached mode, -e for environment variable. This environment variable we are using to set up the password, root password. What is the root password I provided? Vamsi is the root password I have provided. And then now I am going to, so this one we know, Docker container ls, Docker ps-e, all these commands we know to see the list of containers. Docker container ls to see the list of containers that are running. Docker ps-e to see the containers, but that are running as well as stopped. So I want to open a bash terminal of MySQL. I want to open the terminal of MySQL. That is why I'm going to open. Look at this command, Docker execute. We know, right? If I want to execute any commands, inside the container, Docker execute. Container name is what? -it stands for interactive terminal. Docker execute -it stands for interactive terminal. What is the name of the container? MyDB is the name of the container, and we are going to execute in the command prompt called bash mode. Okay, so I'm copying this. I'm going to paste it over here. So once you practice everything, you will understand. Okay, you'll come to know all the things. Please practice all the things. Docker, we are going to execute some commands inside the container called MyDB. Now where we are at, previously we were at the operating system level, right? root@IP address. This is the operating system level. Now you see it is showing bash 4.4. What do you mean by this? We are now inside the terminal. We have now gone inside the terminal of bash, and now we are going to execute some commands. Bash terminal use chesi nenu ekkadunnanante ippudu MyDB ane container lopala unnam. Ippudu MyDB ane container lopala మనం కొన్ని కమాండ్స్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయబోతున్నాం. బ్యాష్ టెర్మినల్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో అసలు చూడండి ఏం కమాండ్స్ టు కనెక్ట్ టు ద MySQL database. Suppose if I want to connect to the MySQL database, I have a command called MySQL username root -p stands for password. సో ఈ కమాండ్ చూడండి, MySQL నేను ఒకవేళ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలనుకుంటే, MySQL database కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలనుకుంటే కమాండ్ ఏంటంటే MySQL -u stands for username. Okay, -u stands for username, and the password, root password we have to provide. I am going to copy it. So it is asking to enter the password. So root user password, it is asking root user password. To provide the root user password, to log in, whenever you log in, you have to provide this command called, you have to provide this particular command to log in into the database, mysql -u root user. Okay, we are specifying that root user password. We are going to provide the root user password. What is the root user password we have set up? I have set up Vamsi. So I have given that password here. I have entered the password. That is why it will not display. Whenever you enter the password, it will not display. I have entered the password now. That is why I have connected to the MySQL database. So this is the command we use to connect to the MySQL database. MySQL -u root -p. That means, okay, whenever you want to log in, you have to use this command so that it will ask for the password. Once you enter the password, you will become connected to you will be connected to the MySQL container. So now we are at the MySQL. You got connected at the MySQL. You got connected to the MySQL now. If you want to execute,
sir.
sorry.
Small doubt.
Yes,
Small doubt. యాక్చువల్లీ ఇప్పటి వరకు డౌన్లోడ్ చేసిన ఇమేజెస్ మనం పుల్ చేసిన ఇమేజెస్ కి మనం ఆ పాస్వర్డ్ ఇప్పుడు మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేయలేదు కదా సార్.
That is what I am telling you for databases. Okay, whenever you work with databases, definitely you cannot directly run the database as a container. You have to mention, you have to set up some password. It will definitely, you have to log in. Okay, you have to log in whenever databases లో ఎప్పుడైనా సరే మనం డేటాబేస్ తో వర్క్ చేసేటప్పుడు డేటాబేసెస్ లోకి లాగిన్ అవ్వాలంటే ఏ యూజర్ లాగిన్ అయ్యాడు మనం చెప్పాలి. అట్లాగే లోపల మళ్ళీ ఇంకెవరైనా యూజర్స్ మనం క్రియేట్ చేయాలన్నా దాంతో వర్క్ చేయాలన్నా ఫస్ట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు యూజ్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ కమాండ్. దానికోసం మనం ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ అనేది ఒకటి సెట్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ అనే ఆప్షన్ యూజ్ చేసి ముందుగానే పాస్వర్డ్ సెట్ చేసుకుంటాం. గాట్ మై పాయింట్? So this is how we will work with the databases, and it is not a common thing for all the containers. That we have to remember. అంటే ప్రతి దానికి ఒకలా ఉంటుంది అనమాట ప్రొసీజర్ అనేది. ఇప్పుడు ప్రతి కంటైనర్ అంటే కంటైనర్, ఓకే, we can run the container by using image. We can run the container, and we will access that container by using some port number. That is fine. So whenever you work with the databases, we have to know few commands what we have to do. Okay, that is why I'm going to tell you. That is why I'm discussing all these things with you. You got my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you see here, to connect with the MySQL database, we have used this command mysql -u username. Okay, this one. It is for connecting to the MySQL database. Whenever you give this command, it will ask for the root password. It is for the root password. So we will get the command prompt and it will ask for the root password. We will provide the password. Then you will be logging into the database. If you want to see the list of databases again, so you see MySQL is a database. MySQL is the database. And if you want to see the list of databases again, if you want to see the list of databases, you can use this particular command. Show databases is the common command we use to see the list of databases inside. ఇప్పుడు MySQL లో మనకి మళ్ళీ ఏమేమి డేటాబేసెస్ ఉన్నాయో మనం చూడాలనుకుంటే we can see by using show databases. MySQL అనేది ఒక డేటాబేస్ మామూలుగా. దాంట్లో మళ్ళీ డేటాబేసెస్ ఉంటాయి. ఎలాంటివంటే you see here, you can see information. Show databases is for what? To see the list of databases that are available. Okay, to see the list of databases that are available, we can simply use a command show databases. And to switch to some other database. Okay, to switch to some other database. ఇక్కడ మనకు చూపిస్తుంది కదా డేటాబేసెస్. ఇప్పుడు మనం యూజ్ MySQL అంటే MySQL, యూజ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ స్కీమ్ అంటే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ స్కీమాలోకి వెళ్తాం. సో లైక్ దట్ వీ కెన్ యూస్. Okay, you can use some other database, some database name. Show databases. Okay, use MySQL. Use MySQL is a database. Sorry. Yeah, we have used a command called use MySQL. So I have logged in. My database is changed. Okay, so all these things we don't need to learn all these things, but I'm just showing you that how to connect to the containers. Like if we create some some containers like databases. Okay, so for such kind of things, how can we connect? That I'm showing. Okay, so anyhow, these are the commands we use. We understood -d option, -small p, -capital P. Those are important. Please remember. Okay, how to use how to provide the container name. We use hyphen name option for providing the container name. -P for small manual port mapping. -P for automatic port mapping. All these -D for detached mode. And whenever you want to work with databases and all, so not only databases, whichever asks you some password while login అయ్యేటప్పుడు ఏదైనా పాస్వర్డ్ అడుగుతుంది, దాని పాస్వర్డ్ మీరు సెట్ చేయాలనుకుంటే you can set up by using -E environment variable. Okay, you can set up password by using -E environment variable. So ఆ environment variable ఏదనేది మనం చెప్పలేము, మనం ఫిక్స్ చేయకూడదు. You have to go to the documentation and you can see what environment variable they are suggesting for setting up the username, for setting up the password, like that. మనం డిసైడ్ చేయట్లేదు ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ ని. ఓకేనా? ఆ ఇమేజ్ ఎవరైతే డిజైన్ చేశారో ఆ ఇమేజ్ డిజైన్ చేసిన డాక్యుమెంటేషన్ లోకి వెళ్ళి వీఆర్ జస్ట్ లుకింగ్ ఎట్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ దట్ దే ఆర్ సజెస్టింగ్. So like this. So now we are going to discuss about multi-container architecture. We are going to discuss about multi-container architecture using Docker. What is this multi-container architecture? So multi-container architecture can be done by using two ways. Let me tell you what is multi-container architecture. So far we have created a containers. Okay, image తీసుకున్నాం, container create చేసాం, ఆ container run చేసాం, చూసాం. ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే multi-container architecture. So మనం multiple containers ని ఎలా లింక్ చేస్తాం? If we have multiple containers, how can we link multiple containers for communication? Okay, we'll see that. So multi-container architecture is nothing but it talks about linking multiple containers. So it can be done in two ways. Either you can use a command, either you can use a method called link, -link. Okay, multi-container architecture మనం two ways లో మనం డిజైన్ చేయొచ్చు, two ways లో మనం చేయొచ్చు. ఒకటి వచ్చేసి -link మెథడ్ అంటాం, ఇంకోటి వచ్చేసి docker compose. -link, ఇంకోటి docker compose. సో ఫస్ట్ చూద్దాం -link అనే ఆప్షన్ ఎలా యూజ్ చేస్తాం. హౌ కెన్ we use -link ఆప్షన్? Okay, we will start two busybox containers and we will create link between them. First we have to understand what is a busybox container. అసలు busybox container అంటే ఏంటి? Busybox is an operating system. It is a lightweight operating system. అన్ని ఫైల్స్ ఉండవు, జస్ట్ చాలా తక్కువ అవసరమైన ఫైల్స్, అంటే లైట్ వెయిట్ అనమాట, లైట్ వెయిట్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్. బిజీబాక్స్ ఇస్ ఏ లైట్ వెయిట్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఓబెంటు, సెంటోఎస్ ఈ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, అట్లాగా బిజీబాక్స్ కూడా ఒక ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమే. బిజీబాక్స్ అనేది కూడా ఒక ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమే, బట్ లైట్ వెయిట్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్. ఎక్కువ ఫైల్స్ లేకుండా శాంపుల్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ అంటారు చూసారా, అట్లా శాంపుల్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ అనమాట ఇది. బిజీబాక్స్ ఇస్ ఏ లైట్ వెయిట్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ టు డూ సమ్ POCs and all. Okay, so we are going to start two busybox containers and we are going to create link between them. So let's understand. First option, see, multi-container architecture can be done in two ways. What is the first option we are using? -link method, -link option we are going to use. So now you see the use case. How to create first busybox container? We are going to create the first busybox container. Okay, how to create? Docker run command. We are very much familiar with this command, docker run. Image name here, what is the image name I am using? Image name is busybox. -name, something we are providing. -name C10. C10 is the container name I am providing. You can provide any name to the container. -name C10 అంటే ఏమి ఇస్తున్నాం మనం కంటైనర్ కి? ఏం నేమ్ ఇస్తున్నాం? We are providing C10 as a container name. You got it? -name C10 means we are providing C10 as the container name. What about this -IT? -IT stands for interactive terminal. That means after running this image, C10 container will be created, and now I am going to interact with the container called C10. I am going to connect with the C10 container. I would like to interact with that. So let me use this particular command first. So we are inside this one. I am just giving exit option to come back. Again, one more exit I am using to come back. Yes, now we came to the operating system level and I am using this command here now, busybox container. Okay, you see, when I am executing this particular command, I will directly go inside the busybox container. Image is getting downloaded. Once image is downloaded, and we are going to run the image as container. Okay, image is getting downloaded now. So yes, you see, Image is downloaded. Image is not there in the locally. Local గా ఇమేజ్ లేదు, డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకునింది, కంటైనర్ గా క్రియేట్ చేసింది. ఎక్కడికి వచ్చాము మనం? హ్యాష్ సింబల్ చూపిస్తుంది చూడండి. హ్యాష్ సింబల్ చూపిస్తుందంటే మనం ఎక్కడున్నాం? వీఆర్ ఇన్సైడ్ ద కంటైనర్ ఓన్లీ. వీఆర్ ఇన్సైడ్ ద కంటైనర్ ఓన్లీ. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు సీ, యూ కెన్ ప్రొవైడ్ ls కమాండ్ ఆల్సో టు సీ ద లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఫైల్స్ అండ్ డైరెక్టరీస్. మనం బిజీ బాక్స్ కంటైనర్ లోపల ఉన్నాం. ఓకే, బిజీ బాక్స్ కంటైనర్ లోపల ఉన్నాం. హౌ టు కమ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ద కంటైనర్ వితౌట్ ఎగ్జిట్? జస్ట్ మనం ఎగ్జిట్ అని ఇచ్చామంటే, కంటైనర్ నుంచి బయటకు వచ్చేస్తాం. అలా కాదు, మనం ఏం చేయాలి? కంటైనర్ రన్ అవ్వాలి, కానీ మనం బయటికి రావాలి. మనం కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ నుంచి బయటికి రావాలి. కంటైనర్ రన్ అవ్వాలి, మనం మాత్రం బయటికి రావాలంటే వేరే కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ కి మారాలి అంటే మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే Ctrl+P+Q. యు సీ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్ హియర్. సో వీఆర్ నౌ ఇన్సైడ్ ద కంటైనర్. బిజీ బాక్స్ కంటైనర్ లోపల ఉన్నాం. ఓకేనా? కంటైనర్ ని స్టాప్ చేయకుండా బయటికి రావాలంటే Ctrl+P+Q. You can use Ctrl+P+Q option, so that we will come back. We'll come back to the operating system level. Yes, now you see I came back to the operating system level. Ctrl+P+Q. You have to use an option called Ctrl+P+Q to come out of the container without exit. Container is running. I just came out of the container without exit. Okay. Now I am going to create a second BusyBox container, and I am going to establish a link to the C10 container. How can I provide link? You see, I am going to create a second BusyBox container, and I am going to establish a link to the C10 container. How can I do? Docker run, we know. BusyBox is the image name. Again, BusyBox is the image name. Okay. So what about this one? Hyphen name C20. C20 is the name of the second container, second BusyBox container. C20 is the name of the second BusyBox container. Same image I'm using, but the container name is, what is the container name I'm providing? C20 is the container name I'm providing. And we are using an option called -link. What is the purpose of using -link? I am using -link option. C10 is the name of the first container, C10 alias. See, what I am doing is, I am giving the name of the container as, I am giving the name of the second container as C20. Second container ki C20 అనే పేరు ఇచ్చాం. ఆ C20 అనే కంటైనర్ కి లింక్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఏ కంటైనర్ లింక్ చేస్తున్నాను? C10 అనే కంటైనర్ లింక్ చేస్తున్నాను. అలా లింక్ చేయడానికి మీకు సింటాక్స్ ఏంటంటే, నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ది కంటైనర్ కానీ మీరు లింక్ చేయాల్సిన కంటైనర్ ఏదైతే ఉందో దాని పేరు ఇచ్చి మళ్ళా నేమ్ ఇచ్చి -alias అని రాయాలి. అంటే ఇంతకు ముందు మనం దీన్ని ఇంతకు ముందు కంటైనర్ ఇది C10 అనే కంటైనర్ మనం ఆల్రెడీ క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఈ C10 అనే కంటైనర్ ని మనం C20 అనే కంటైనర్ లింక్ చేస్తున్నాం, అంతే, ఇంకేం లేదు. See here, Docker run, we know. BusyBox image, we know. So from the BusyBox image, we are going to create a container, and the name of the container will be C20. You understood, right? Till here. And what is the another option I'm using? -link option I'm using. For what purpose I'm using -link option? Okay. So -link option. I am using -link option to link the C10 container, to connect the C10 container with the C20 container. C10 అనే కంటైనర్ ని C20 కంటైనర్ తో లింక్ చేస్తున్నాం. దానికోసం మనం -link ఆప్షన్ ఇచ్చి ఇక్కడ C10 alias. This is how you have to write. This is the syntax we have to follow. C10 -alias. ఒకవేళ కంటైనర్ నేమ్ C30 అనుకోండి, C30 alias అని రాస్తాం. So this is how we will write. Just let me run this command. Copy this. Yes. So now I have created a container called C20. Now I am inside the container called C20. C20 అనే కంటైనర్ క్రియేట్ చేసి నేను C20 లోపల ఉన్నాను. ఆల్రెడీ C20కి మనం ఏం లింక్ చేసాం? C10 అనేది ఆల్రెడీ లింక్ చేసాం మనం. వీఆర్ నౌ ఇన్సైడ్ ద C20 కంటైనర్. అసలు లింక్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ అయిందా లేదా మనకి ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది అంటే, ఇఫ్ we give some command, if I ping the first container from here, consider presently I am now inside the second container. ప్రెసెంట్లీ నేను C20 లోపల ఉన్నాను. -IT ఇచ్చాను అంటే C20 లోపల ఉన్నాను నేను. Name of the container is C20 and I'm providing -IT. Doesn't mean that I'm inside the I'm inside the container of ఏ కంటైనర్ లోపల ఉన్నాను. I'm inside the C20 container. I want to know whether the C10 container is linked with it or not. So I'm just giving a command called ping C10. I am just pinging by using C10. I'm just using a command ping C10. So it is pinging. You can see here. That means what? Got connected. Both the containers got connected. We have linked both the containers each other. Okay, we have connected both the containers. So how to come out from the ping? Now the ping is the ping command is running. How to come out of the ping? Control plus C. You see, Control plus C. Use Control plus C to come out of the ping. Use Control plus C to come out of the ping. It is showing clearly 0 packet loss. That means it got connected. We successfully got connected, and we are able to run P10. We are able to run this ping C10 command, and it is running successfully. So that we can confirm that C10 container is linked with C20 container. You'll slowly understand what is the purpose of linking two containers. Anyhow, we have linked two containers now. Two BusyBox containers. We have taken two BusyBox containers and we have created a link between them. We have established a link between them. So both the containers got linked each other. And whenever I am trying to ping the first container from inside the second container, yes, we are able to access it. We are able to do it. Okay. So this is how we are going to check. So how to come out of the ping? How to come out of the ping command? Control plus C. How to come out of the container? How to come out of the container without exit? Just exit aniste nenu C20 nunchi bayatku vachestanu. C20 run avadu anamata, exit అయిపోతాం C20 container. నేను Control plus P plus Q ఇస్తే కంటైనర్ ని ఎగ్జిట్ చేయకుండా, కంటైనర్ రన్ అవుతా ఉంటుంది, కంటైనర్ నుంచి ఎగ్జిట్ అవ్వకుండా మనం బయటికి రావాలి అంటే Control plus P plus we can use this option. Okay, so this is how we are going to link multiple containers. This is the first option, hyphen link option, but nobody is using this particular option. In the real time, everyone is going to use Docker Compose method that we will see. We'll discuss in the upcoming sessions. But anyhow, once we understand this hyphen link option, then only we can able to understand Docker hyphen compose. That is why we discussed this hyphen link option today. So anyhow, in the tomorrow session, I'm going to discuss with you Docker hyphen compose method under the multi-container architecture. Okay. Thank you all. Any doubts you have, please.
మనం ఒక కంటైనర్ లోకి ఎంటర్ అయ్యాక తర్వాత నార్మల్ ఆపరేషన్స్ పెర్ఫార్మ్ చేయొచ్చా సార్? ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ వి ఎంటర్ ఇంటూ ద జెంకిన్స్ కంటైనర్, సో మనం జెంకిన్స్ కమాండ్ రన్ చేస్తే అవుతుందా సార్?
Jenkins command in the sense which Jenkins command you want? Which Jenkins command you want to run?
Okay sir, for example, leave it that sir, git if we enter into the git container, if we perform any git command,
definitely
they will execute.
Yes, that container will execute. Yes, that container will execute whatever the commands you give. Okay, so one thing you try to understand, container, first of all, you must understand the concept of we must understand the concept of Docker very carefully. డాకర్ అనేది మనం క్లియర్ గా అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి. మనం ఫస్ట్ లో ఇంట్రడక్షన్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు డాకర్ గురించి ఆల్రెడీ మనం చెప్పాం. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ది ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ మీద బేస్ అయ్యి రన్ అవ్వట్లేదు. ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ కంటైనర్ ఇస్ రన్నింగ్ యాజ్ ఎ సపరేట్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్. గాట్ మై పాయింట్? ఇప్పుడు ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ ఎలా రన్ అవుతుందో హార్డ్వేర్ పైన, అలాగే మనం డాకర్ అనే టూల్ యూజ్ చేసి ప్రతి ఒక్క అప్లికేషన్ ని మనం రన్ చేస్తున్నాం అనమాట. వస్తుంది. ఓకే. So any other doubts you have? Yes, you can execute any commands inside the container. Bindu.
Okay sir.
Yeah. Okay, thank you all. We'll meet tomorrow for the next session. Still, if you have any, yeah, please.
Actually, AWS documentation provide change.
Yeah, Bindu, I'm making some small changes for yourself only. I'll send you. Okay, send you the documentation.
Okay sir, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. We'll meet tomorrow for the next session.
Thank you sir.